Last night, Josh Hader was on for the Milwaukee Brewers. He had not given up a hit yet this year. Oscar Mercado said, "I'm not impressed." A leadoff double for Mercado, and the Indians were in business in the bottom of the ninth. Then up comes Cesar Hernandez. He liked what Mercado did so much, he did the same thing. Another knockoff Hader, and this sends the Indians to victory. Their first walk-off win of the year, and boy, did they need it, because the Minnesota Twins walked one off last night, and we've got a very close race in the American League Central Division. The good news is we've got Shane Bieber on the mound today for the Tribe. Shane Bieber has an ERA of 1.20. That is the lowest, the third lowest ERA in Indians history through 8 starts of a season. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Indians Brew Crew wrapping up the series here today at Progressive Field. And Shane Bieber, Rick, you know, he just continues to go out and put up impressive numbers. Nobody in baseball history has struck out more batters through the first 50 innings of a season than Shane Bieber. Is there any one pitch that has been particularly impressive for you this year?
Well, we're going to show you a little bit of his arsenal first, and then you can decide. When Shane comes out, he can locate that fastball, it seems like, any time and dot the outside corner. Then he comes back. That knuckle curveball right there may be the pitch, the separator, if you will, for him. There's the slider, and it doesn't stop there. Also a changeup. He can throw any of those pitches at any time. Oh, and we didn't even show the cutter yet, but I'll tell you what, he is nasty. This year, 6-0 with a 1.20 ERA. And for Shane, out of his 8 starts, he has 5 times struck out double digits, no lower than 8 in any game. But when you look at Bieber, he's going to end up taking over the league lead in innings pitched, and you can see the ERA is by far the best in the division. He had a bad game last time, and he still only gave up 2 runs, and he should have won the ball game. But for Bieber, anytime he toes the rubber, you expect to win, and I expect that today as well.
Well, the only problem is the Indians have a tough competitor on the other side, too, Brett Anderson. They've never beaten him. Lefty going for Milwaukee here this afternoon. We'll be back with the play-by-play coming up. Alan Jensen are up next. They're talking Twins, and Andre Knott has more on Shane Bieber straight ahead. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Spectrum Mobile. Spectrum Mobile has unlimited talk, text, and data. Save up to 40%. Go to SpectrumMobile.com today. And by your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Could it be anything better? Is there a better phrase in baseball? I think not. The next 3 hours or so should be a lot of fun as Shane Bieber gets on the mound again. And now suddenly, guys, we talk about the Indians' rotation, still one of the best in baseball, but the names have changed. And Shane Bieber not only is the leader of this Indians pitching staff, but now how does he lead when the Klubers are no longer here, the Clevengers and Bowers are no longer here? So now the pressure of being the leader not only on the 5th day, but the days when no one's watching, all falls on Shane Bieber.
It's definitely different, the turnover that we've had in the last year. But to be honest, we're all very, very close as a team, as a starting staff specifically. And I know we're a lot younger than we have been in the past, but knowing these guys the way that I do, I'm very comfortable being sort of a veteran or a leadership presence, but not a lot of guys need that on this staff right now. Everybody knows what they're doing. Very, very confident, everybody individually, namely the most recent guy, Tristan McKenzie. I know you guys have talked to him. He's very confident in himself, and he knows what he's doing and what he has to do. Obviously, there's going to be some things along the way. We're going to lean on Carl and myself and Cookie to be able to guide him and some other guys. But honestly, not a lot of help is needed right now, if you ask me.
Exciting to see Shane get back on the field. Quick thing to look at. I know the last start wasn't a bad start per se, but he wasn't happy with it, Matt and Rick, and he wanted us to be better. He didn't like that he only went 6 innings, so in between starts, they worked on his base. They thought he was opening up a little bit. Said some of his best pitches came after he got a guy on first base, so their worked on the windup and trying to be more consistent in throwing strikes early in the count for Shane Bieber.
The better you are, the higher the expectations go each and every time you take the ball.
Well, he wasn't happy because he walked 4 guys in that game, and he just didn't have his command. And you know what? You can't go out there and be perfect, but he's pitched at least 6 innings in all 8 starts that he has been out there. I don't think many pitchers in baseball can say that. Shane Bieber will be our Nissan starting pitcher for the Indians this afternoon, and he is 6-0, 1.20 ERA. We showed you all the numbers. He leads the world in strikeouts and everything else, but he's going to go out there and just try and put zeros on the board until the Indians can put something up there, and hopefully they can do it early in this ball game today.
Well, let's take a look at Craig Counsell's starting lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers. They come in 2 games under 500, and they'll have Ben Gamel in the leadoff spot. Keston Hiura on a tear. He'll bat second. Christian Yelich in the 3-hole. Then Daniel Vogelbach, Orlando Arcia, and Luis Urias in the middle. Jace Peterson, Tyrone Taylor, and Jacob Nottingham rounded out for the Brew Crew.
And let's take a look at the Indians defense, brought to you by your local Spitzer location. Luplow in left, Mercado back in center, Naquin over in right. And it'll be Ramirez at third, Lindor at short, Hernandez is at second, Santana at first, Roberto Perez back behind the plate today.
Good to see Roberto back in there. The umpires today, Jeremy Riggs will call the balls and strikes. Jeremy Riak at first. This is the J Crew. Jerry Meals is at second, and Jordan Baker down at third. Wait, that's a store, isn't it, J Crew?
Yeah, the J Crew. Oh, I just caught that. I was.
Beautiful day, 74 degrees, mostly sunny skies, a few clouds overhead. But wow, what an ideal Labor Day weekend. I know it certainly is not what any of us are used to on Labor Day, with family picnics and barbecues in the backyards. Some of that has been curtailed this year, but we've got baseball, and the Indians, in a very fiercely contested American League Central Division, find themselves a half game back of Chicago. The White Sox, Twins, Indians, all separated by half a game. Cleveland and Chicago, or I should say Minnesota and Chicago, both have 25 wins. Cleveland has 24 in the half game, because not everybody's played the same amount of games so far. But man, there is not a lot of wiggle room as we go down the stretch. Shane Bieber fires, we're underway, and it's a fastball strike to the outside corner. Ben Gamel had 3 hits in the series opener. They held him hitless last night. Good curveball, and that's in for a strike. Two balls, 2 strikes.
This is how Bieber attacks hitters. Always seems to be up in the count, either 0-2 or 1-2 to hitters. Sets up pitches.
Just foul up the first base side, and we'll come back and do it again at 2-2. Oh my, just missed, and a full count.
A well-located pitch, and that's a tough take. I mean, when you take the pitch this close with Bieber on the mound, it was a little low, just a little off the plate. That was a good take by Gamel.
Pulls that foul. Swing and a miss. He overpowered him with a good fastball. And Bieber with strikeout number 85 in 53 innings of work.
That's what they were trying to do earlier in the at-bat, is trying to get that fastball just a little bit above the belt where you can't take it, you swing through it. Well, Bieber gets his first strikeout today. Didn't take long.
Keston Hiura riding a 6-game hitting streak. And Bieber puts him in an 0-2 hole. Not just a 6-game hitting streak for Hiura, but a home run binge of late. He has homered in each of his last 3 games.
That's that separator, that knuckle curveball that Shane Bieber throws. You can see he swung at the pitch before that. It was a little down. He got a piece of that one. You may see him bounce it one time too, right out in front of the plate, because he's been chasing it.
To third. Going to be a tough play for Ramirez. He gets the throw away, and what a job! Oh, baby! That is an unbelievable play by Jose Ramirez from way in foul territory. He spun and got off a perfect high arcing throw to nab Hiura for out number 2.
You will never see a better play than the one right here going over the base. He knew he had to get rid of it quickly, and he arched that throw and put as much on it as he could. And I mean, he put it right on the money. A terrific throw. Great play. Bieber loved it. Beautiful.
I think he's somewhat stunned.
Well, yeah, I mean, he had to get rid of it that quickly, and he didn't have time to set himself.
And now Christian Yelich looks at strike 1. Yelich 2 for 9 in the series. That good curveball. Well, Shane Bieber has him in 1-2 now.
Remember in the game last night, Savali had him swinging at that pitch a number of times last night. The curveball, he struck him out one time, and he got him to ground out on it as well.
Comes back to it, man. Good night. 1, 2, 3 go the Brewers. Bieber strikes out a pair, and Jose Ramirez turns in one of the best plays you'll see.
Brew Crew this year, today. In his career against the Indians, he is 4-0 in his 6 starts and a .94 ERA. In this ballpark, he's 3-0, and that ERA is even better, .52.
Acting manager Sandy Alomar has this starting lineup for the Tribe, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Cesar Hernandez tied for the league lead with 14 doubles, and Oscar Mercado back in there once again in the starting lineup. He started the winning rally in the bottom of the 9th last night with a leadoff double. Fastball strike from Brett Anderson.
Anderson, a no decision in his last start against Pittsburgh. He went 5 innings, gave up 9 hits and 4 runs. This guy's about an 85 pitch guy in a ball game.
Weak fly ball to center. Taylor will make the catch, 1 down.
Check the Brewers defense. In the outfield, Yelich is in left, Taylor in center making that play, Gamble over in right. On the infield, Urias is at third, Arcia at short. Hiura is at second, Peterson at first, Nottingham back behind the plate this afternoon.
Foul ball, and that got a chunk of Nottingham. Up high. 1 ball, 1 strike for Jose Ramirez, who has batted .308 in his last 10 games. He had a big 2-run homer last night. His team leading 9th of the season.
Yeah, that ended up coming with a terrific at-bat when he was down in the count, had 2 strikes. It was a 10-pitch at-bat, and he just went into protect mode. and ended up turning on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball that was up and in.
Full count. And a foul back over the screen by Ramirez. Well, he's right on him. Yet to put one in play, though. And Jose Ramirez draws a walk. We'll take a look at our storylines brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Brewers hitters swing and miss a lot. And Brett Anderson has never lost to the Indians. And he hasn't given up much.
Yeah, the one thing, though, like we said, he's not going to throw many pitches in this game. Bieber will get up over the 100 mark. And Anderson's usually, as I mentioned, around 85.
Back out of play. Runner goes, and Lindor slowly chops it to third. Urias with a good throw to get Lindor. That's a dynamite play for out number 2. Ramirez moves into scoring position.
Well, made a nice play with Ramirez on the run trying to steal a base. He stayed down on it beautifully, and by the time he put a lot on that throw and throws a strike, and he got by Lindor by a step.
Line drive and a base hit to deep left field. Carlos Santana drives in the first run of the game as Jose Ramirez scores. Santana with his 18th run batted in, just his 3rd double this year. And more importantly for Carlos Santana, that snaps an 0 for 13 slump. And it's the Indians' first 2-out hit in the series.
Well, this is the first RBI Santana's had in a week, and boy, it comes at the right time. You get down in the first inning, 2 outs. Usually good things happen when the Indians can get a 2-out RBI hit early in the ball game, and that ties him. You can see with Lou Boudreau.
Off the plate, ball 1 to Franmil Reyes. Hitless in the series, but he has walked 3 times. And the 2-1 fouled off to the right. Franmil Reyes in his last 26 games has hit .395 with 7 doubles, 7 homers, 21 runs batted in. He and Lindor have been going, or I should say he and Ramirez have been going back and forth for the team lead in homers and runs batted in. Right at the shortstop, Arcia. And that'll retire the side. But Carlos Santana with a well-timed 2-out RBI double. Indians on top 1-0. Take a look at the play by Jose Ramirez in the first inning on StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud.
About that 154 feet he had to throw that ball, and I mean had to unload it in a hurry. And very accurate.
This play may have showed something. That's Jose talking to Ed Cedar, the third base coach of Milwaukee, who gave him a standing ovation. He clapped like everyone else. He turned and told me, he goes, there's no fans here. Somebody's got to clap for that play.
Yeah, when you see a good play, you got to appreciate it. I don't care what team you play for.
It was an awesome moment, Arch. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. And Jose just flashed a smile at him.
Yeah, you appreciate good baseball. It doesn't matter. A good play is a good play.
Daniel Vogelbach swings and fouls the first pitch out of play. Vogelbach just acquired by Milwaukee via Toronto. Began the year in Seattle. And essentially a miserable year up to this point. He was batting .088 in 20 games with Seattle and Toronto. But now 3 for 6 since joining the Brew Crew, including an RBI double last night. Good knuckle curve by Shane Bieber. Ball's traveling, and what a play by Luplow, who broke in initially and then realized, oh, he hit that harder than I thought, and he raced back and snared it in the webbing for out number 1.
Yeah, he was fooled on that ball because he hit it going the other way, and it was firm. It was a hard fastball, and you know, he just flicks his wrists at it, but I'll tell you what, it had some carry to it, and Luplow tracks it down right into the top of his glove. So he made up, and barely. I mean, barely stays in there. He was extended to the max.
I'll tell you what, though, you watched the way Vogelbach swung the bat, and you could see how Luplow was fooled. It looked like he barely swung.
I always say that's why left field is one of the tougher spots, because left-handers don't normally drive the ball that way. They flare it more than the right-handers do to right field. And that one caught him off balance. Sure did, but he made a nice recovery.
Orlando Arcia, 2 out of 9 in the series. He homered last night.
They tied the game up in the 8th inning on a 3-1 fastball. Hit it into the left field seats.
Not a bad pitch, just a tad inside. Orlando Arcia signed with the Milwaukee Brewers 10 years ago. Made his debut in 16. Bieber strikes him out. Third K for Shane. 2 down here in the 2nd inning.
Well, this is a big swing for a 3-2 pitch, but threw that fastball by him. It's elevated a little bit, right around the belt, maybe a little bit higher. Out number 2 and strikeout number 3.
Sandy Alomar says for him, one of the reasons Bieber has piled up so many strikeouts and has been so dominant is that he's got 4 pitches plus the cutter that he's added this year. And he said, unlike most pitchers, he can throw any of them at any point and throw them 4 strikes. And he said that's just not a normal combination to have with you every single time you go out there.
Well, like we said, his last start, he struggled a little bit with his command for him.
Right.
For him. But he walked 4 guys and still went 6 innings. You know, and still only gave up.
Look at that bait. That just painted the outside corner, and there was nothing Urias could do. Luke Blow made a nice play. 4 Ks for Bieber.
Place to get all your baseball action, in-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stats, standings, and much more. Download the MLB app today, the #1 app for live baseball.
Jordan Luplow swings at the first offering and skies it to right center. Fighting the sun, the right fielder Gamble makes the catch for out #1.
Well, you talk about having to stay with it. He certainly did.
I'm not so sure Taylor had that good a look at it. Maybe that's why Gamble ended up making the catch.
Well, he's got the glasses on. It looked like he was calling for it.
Yeah.
But boy, he picked it up before it hits the ground. That's all you have to do is catch it. And they have been aggressive. They have 4 swings at the first pitch off of Anderson because, you know, I think they have the numbers that when you put a ball in play, he's given up a .529 batting average when you put it in play on the first pitch.
Roberto Perez, last 6 games prior to the shoulder acting up on him. He was 5 out of 17 with a homer and 4 runs batted in. Threw it by him, and that's the first strikeout for Brett Anderson. 2 down here in the 2nd inning. Well, when the Indians score 3 or more, they're 19-2. That's the best record in the bigs in terms of winning percentage. They're a third of the way there. And when you consider Brett Anderson has given up 4 runs in over 38 innings of work coming in against Cleveland. The fact that they got a run right out of the gate is big.
Especially with 2 outs. And it came from Santana's bat, who has not been swinging the bat very well. Brett Anderson, he spent last year with the Oakland A's where he went 13-9. In 31 starts for Oakland, had a .389 ERA, but he's always given the Indians trouble.
Big hop, Hira. 1, 2, 3 go the Indians. After 2, Cleveland 1, Milwaukee nothing. Through the first 2 innings, has punched out 4 and 2 really good defensive plays. borderline spectacular defensive plays behind him.
Yeah, 6 of 7 first pitch strikes. He had 4 counts, 0-2, 1-2. So he's off to a very good start this afternoon, and the defense is ready. But how can't you be ready when he's on the mound playing defense?
And Arch, that strikeout of Arias to end the second inning was his 88th of the year. Out of those 88 strikeouts, that was the 20th time he has struck out a batter on just 3 pitches.
Yeah, that's impressive in its own right.
Also,
well, that's go ahead, Andre.
No, go ahead. I was going to say also impressive is he has that curveball back. He was frustrated because he didn't have the curve last game against Kansas City, and it was frustrating because they wouldn't swing at the low pitch. If you notice, he's used the curve up higher today as a strike to get a good feel for it. That was something that Roberto Perez wanted to work with him with early.
That was the first team that I saw against Bieber that was trying to take the low pitch and making him work, and I think maybe it got to him a little bit.
Well, it was twofold. They weren't swinging at the low pitch, and he couldn't throw it the way he wanted to throw it.
Mechanically, he had a tough day.
You know, Sandy says it perfectly. The thing that's beautiful about Shane is he can throw that curveball as a strike, meaning starts in the strike zone, ends in the strike zone, or he can throw it as a strike ball that gets the swing and miss, where it's in the strike zone, but drops out of the strike zone.
That's when he gets ahead of you, 0-2, 1-2, which he does so often. But that's why, I mean, he goes and he's been over 100 pitches almost every start. He's had the 3 starts this year where he hasn't thrown 100. But to pile up the kind of strikeouts he has, 5 times out of the first 8 starts, he's had double-digit strikeouts. You got to be throwing a lot of strikes to only throw that many pitches and get so many strikeouts and pitch deep into the game like he does.
I think our expectations as people that watch him every start, I've got to be careful because even after his last start, he was mad he only went 6 innings. He said he wasted pitches. He felt like he put the bullpen in a bad situation. He didn't do his part, but he went 6 innings.
Yeah, he's a perfectionist.
Right. And we do that with all these pitchers, whether it's Savali.
Well, they have high standards, and it's really a treat to watch these guys feed off each other. And like he said it in the opening when you were talking about him. You know, we got a young staff now, but all these pitchers they're up to the task. They all work together, and it's a treat to watch these guys go out there night after night.
The expectation has not changed.
Got him looking. Breaking ball, top of the zone. Peterson hopping mad. But he's not going to get any sympathy from Jeremy Riggs. 5 Ks for Bieber.
Well, what you're going to say as a hitter, he doesn't need any help. You know, this guy's good enough. This one might have been a little high. It comes down, and Perez catches it and sort of frames it up top. But he didn't like it. He thought it was a little bit high, and there's the hitting coach. He was ejected on Friday night because he disagreed with a call.
Tyron Taylor making his first career start. Last year he played in 15 games, all off the bench. And so far this year, 3 games all off the bench. Good luck. You're getting Bieber today, kid. You're going to give you maybe 3 at-bats. And that didn't take long. 6 strikeouts for Bieber. That's 4 in a row now.
Add another one to the 3-pitch strikeout.
Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Undefeated and under 150 through the first 8 starts. We told you earlier about Cy Falkenberg.
That was only in 1913.
I was about to say we need more of the mad historian about Falkenberg.
He killed me over 100 years ago.
I didn't know there was that many people named Cy that pitched.
Fouled back. Some people think that he got that nickname because he had been a teammate of Cy Young in Cleveland.
I knew you had something on that.
He just made that up and you believed it.
I got no choice. You know anything about 1913? He can tell me anything and I go, wow.
The 0-1 pitch. Andre, it might have been a little before your time, but there was an old TV show Called to tell the truth. The guy to my right here,
Yeah.
he'd have won a lot of money on that show.
Sounds like a good game of poker.
0-2 pitch. Almost chased after it.
Well, Tommy and Gary know all the cast that was on the show.
They do.
You know it.
You already used the Tommy number today. You leave Tommy alone. That was a nice number you pulled on Brett Anderson. I was very impressed.
Thank you.
1-2 offering. Pretty good.
Well, everything is so close to being around the plate. You can't expect that umpire. He'd have to oil his right arm. He'd be throwing it up so often.
Chased it, struck him out. And how about Shane Bieber strikes out the side here in the third. He has spanned 7 of the first 9 to start the day.
Well, if you purchase tickets for games during the current season, the Indians have flexible options for you, including different credit alternatives for the 21 season, priority access to pre-sales, as well as refund options. Call 216-420-HITS Monday through Friday for the details.
Oscar Mercado, since getting recalled from the alternate training site, getting some opportunities to play. He's gone 2 for 3 in the series with a double, a couple of walks, 2 runs scored. But that double last night was a thing of beauty off Josh Hader, who had not given up a hit this year, and he crushed it to left field off the wall, setting up the game-winning hit by Cesar Hernandez. And it's not like they called him up from the alternate site and plugged him right into the lineup. It took an injury to Delano DeShields to give Mercado an opportunity. So that door cracked open. Now the question is, what will Mercado do with it? So far, so good. 2-2 the count.
Yeah, he got an at-bat on Friday because DeShields' shoulder had some issues with it. And he had his 4 at-bats yesterday, walked a couple of times, and then hit that double and scored in the bottom of the 9th.
Hard hit ball to third. Right there to scoop it up is Urias. 1 away. Great clip of the game from last night. Cesar Hernandez. He had a 3-hit ball game, a single into first, an RBI double, and scored in the 5th, and the game winner in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, when you watch him hit on a daily basis like we have the opportunity to do, you see, I mean, he's very good with runners on base and in scoring position. He uses the whole field from both sides of the plate. Doesn't try to do too much. And he's got a very good eye at the plate. I mean, it's nothing flashy, but boy, he's very consistent. And he's a solid baseball player all the way around.
Stats with Lowe's, Cesar Hernandez tied for 2nd in the league, getting on base. Tied for the league lead in doubles. And he's been dynamite with runners in scoring position. He's out number 2 here in the 3rd.
Last night, Arch, I heard Sandy Alomar say something that almost made me call you on the way home, but I figured you were already asleep by the time I got in my car.
What was that?
You talked about the 2-strike approach that Jose went into in that 10-pitch at-bat where he hit the home run. And I asked Sandy about him not using that huge step that he usually uses.
Right.
And Sandy says, I want more of our guys to be willing to do that. And hopefully in seeing Jose hit a home run in that situation, they realize you're not taking away your power. You can still drive the ball, but it's all right to make yourself big in the box and defend and not.
Well, yeah, he had a beautiful at bat. Fouled off some really tough pitches, and then and we saw the reaction on his face yesterday when we saw Woodruff after that ball went out. He thought he made a good pitch off of Ramirez, and he's so quick inside, he still hit it out without the big step. So when you go for it the first 2 pitches, but when you have 2 strikes, try to put it in play like he did. More hitters should do that.
The thing I have to find out, I have to talk to Jose what made him do that, because we have not seen Jose willingly take that swing and cut it down the way he did last night. But it worked.
Well, he had to be fed up with it and says, I'm just going to put he probably challenged himself. I'm going to put this ball in play. I'm not going to let him get me. Because he was rolling pretty good at the time, Woodruff was.
Up the middle, and that might have gotten a piece of the foot of Brett Anderson with 2 down, and Jose Ramirez is aboard for the second time today.
It did. It hit it. I don't know how solidly, but it looked like it went off the left. Let's see. Yeah, it went off it looked like the foot or maybe the ankle. Unless he just deflected it. 106 miles an hour off the bat of Ramirez. 2-out single for him. So both hits off of Anderson today, coming with 2 outs. Let's see. See where that deflects off of. Yeah, right around the ankle.
Francisco Lindor hit a slow roller to third his first time up, and Arias made a dynamite play to get him.
Boy, he didn't waste any time, did he?
No, shot out of a cannon, and he's out at second base. So Ramirez is caught for one of the few times this year. In fact, I think it's the first time.
It is
caught.
Yeah, it is the first time. He had 9 out of 9.
No challenge forthcoming. Inning over. Indians lead at 1-0 through 3. Bieber, first turn through the order. I mean, just about as overpowering as you will ever see.
Yeah, 7 strikeouts out of the 9 batters faced, and he's been on point. He's got 7-0-2, 1-2 counts, 8 of 9 first pitch strikes. And you can see the 4-seam fastball, knuckle curve he's been using. He has it all tonight. He is on top of his game. And the 2 balls that were in play, both of them terrific defensive plays.
Ben Gamble. Ben Gamble got off to a good start. Through August the 4th, he was hitting .300. Then between August 5th and August 18th, he hit .056. He went 2 for 36. And then since then, he's hit .375. That's the roller coaster it is for hitters sometimes.
Well, we've seen, I think, a lot of hitters have a lot of ups and downs early this year. This is game number 40, so there's only going to be 20 more after this one. Nice changeup. I mean, that's the one thing. Shane, I haven't seen the cutter a lot today, but that changeup there is awfully good to left-handers.
A little high with the heater, 2-2. But as you say, what makes him so effective on days like this in particular is that he's always ahead. 0-2, 1-2. Puts that hitter back on his heels a little bit. Just about a ball width or 2 maybe off the plate.
Yeah,
And now a full
even
count.
when he makes a pitch with 2 strikes, it's a quality pitch. It's a competitive pitch where the hitter has a chance to swing at it.
Weak bouncer to second base. Cesar Hernandez says, hey, they put one in play. Just the 3rd time a Brewer hitter has put a ball in play.
Well, show your support for your favorite player and visit the Progressive Field Team Shop. You'll find everything from player name and numbered jerseys to T-shirts to baseballs and bobbleheads. For Team Shop hours, visit Indians.com/Team Shop.
Game is shaved. Keston Hiura robbed, and I mean robbed, his first time up. What a play by Jose Ramirez. Last night, Hiura homered for the 30th time in his 122nd game. Only Ryan Braun has reached 30 home runs faster in Brewer history.
That's impressive for this young man. He just stepped up and he had a heck of a year last year. He's getting it rolling again this year.
The 2-2. High pop foul, maybe play.
Yeah.
But let's see. Santana near the netting. Can't get to it. It caught the netting before he could reach in. Here is another one of those guys, though, Rick, that, you know, we always talk about in baseball, where unlike basketball, football, physical dimensions really don't tell even part of the story a lot of the times. If you took the guys and lined them up against the wall, Hiura would not be one of the first 10 picks, just based on how he looks.
Physical stature.
But he does handle the bat well, plays really solid defensively at second base.
Better test somebody else. That bat flew all the way out to shortstop. Dug itself into the ground.
It's like it snapped in two.
Yeah, but the ball went to third base, but it certainly did. The bat goes right out to the shortstop, right at the cut of the grass, and he had the handle in his hand.
Christian Yelich. So Hiura reaching 30 home runs in his young career. Christian Yelich 2 homers shy of the 150 home run mark. Really susceptible to that breaking ball down and in. They have been able to get in the chase after that time and time again. And that's in the situation where it's a 2-0 count. You can understand it in a 2-strike situation.
Yeah, when you got 2-0, right. You would certainly want to make him get that breaking ball up if you're going to swing at it.
But it goes back to what you say. Sometimes you're just not seeing the ball that well. You're not picking it up.
You know, Bieber has not pitched against the Brewers before, so it's the first time they're getting an opportunity to see him.
Curveball, that time he lays off. Think about that for a second. In terms of the physical dimensions or descriptions of players. Hira, Yelich, Vogelback. 2, 3, 4 in the order. They couldn't look any more different, all three of them. And yet they're all Major League players. Three-two.
Well, he's making Bieber work to get an out here. Fouls this breaking ball straight back
Right
into your living room. Now there's your shot that you want.
Yeah.
Now can you get Hira out there over on the other side,
exactly.
please?
You've got a starting left guard, a running back, and a wide receiver. The 3-2. Upstairs. The first man to reach today is Yelich, and he earned it. That was a good at bat for the former MVP.
At the plate now for Milwaukee, designated hitter Daniel.
And with 2 down, Daniel Vogelback to the plate. That first time up where that pitch was up, it was away, and he just kind of took his top hand and flicked it over to left field.
Tomahawked it.
But he got the barrel to it, and Luplo, after about 1 or 2 steps in, realized, uh-oh, this is going farther than I realized. There's a ball smoked into right field. So there's the first hit. Naquin's throw, not in time, and the Brewers have runners at the corners with 2 down.
Well, he wastes no time in getting up there. I mean, he smokes this ball. It's a fastball up, and it's in. But he was short to the baseball, and he hit a line drive. Naquin gets it in. Yelich all the way to third base. So some 2-out lightning going on now for the Brew Crew.
And up to the plate is Orlando Arcia. One nothing, Cleveland leading it. But Bieber in a 2-out mess now.
Bieber, that's his third 2-0 count this afternoon.
Bouncy ball to Lindor. He'll go to Hernandez, and the inning is over. No runs, a hit, 2 left. Middle of the 4th, 1-0 Cleveland. Home run number 300 last night. The Angels all-time leader in home runs.
Those numbers, guys. There's just we talked about it a little bit last night. Just before the age of 30 to already get to 30 home runs or 300 home runs.
Yeah,
excuse me.
that's yeah. And then the 200 stolen bases. That's incredible.
The amazing thing, in my opinion, I was reading something this morning about Trout and the Angels. They've spent a lot of money, and they don't have a lot to show for what they've done since Mike Trout has been on their roster.
Well, pitching has been an issue for them.
Up the middle, Francisco Lindor will extend his streak. He has a hit in 72 consecutive series played. Carlos Santana's first time up. He roped the double down into the corner, got the Indians on the board. It's the only run of the game, and it snapped an for 13 slump for Santana.
Yeah, that was the best swing he's had in a while. From the right side, it was a ball down in the zone, and he stayed back on it and let it, you know, his arms and his hands got through the hitting area. His body was sort of quiet.
He's got those pants back up. Maybe that's what it was.
Well, take them off if you can hit. Doesn't matter.
I don't think that's legal.
Hey.
Well, as Sandy said, I mean, Santana he'll change from at bat to at bat if things aren't going right. He'll always try to, whether it's superstition, whatever you want to call it, he's trying to find the right mojo.
A lot of hitters would do that. Rod Carew would do it. Cal Ripken would do it. You know, you could see maybe 4 different plate appearances, and they may have 4 different stances going in there throughout the course of the game, trying to make an adjustment.
Well, we're getting that from Carlos this week, as well as the guy on first base, Francisco Lindor, who was running a little behind before today's game because he had to get tested, as that's what's going on. So that's why his pants aren't pulled up, Matt. I worked on it for you.
Well, he's been doing that for a while, though, now.
Since last, I think you and
Kansas City.
Kansas City, yes. Since the Kansas City, he's been going more with the pants down. I asked him before the game today, and he says, look, I'm just lazy and just trying to catch up right now, considering everything else they got me doing, trying to get ready for the game.
Well, the other thing, too, part of being superstitious is not talking about being superstitious. So if there is anything to the pants, up, down, whatever, they're not going to tell us. Not until way after the fact.
Yeah, they won't admit it.
Uh-oh, he's in trouble, and he just did get back in time.
Boy, they may look at that one.
That's literally called drawing a throw, because I don't think Anderson was originally going to go over there, but when Lindor started making a move towards second, he had no choice but to throw over there.
Look at, he was going to take off, but nope, he saw he was coming to first base, and it looked like he did get that hand back. Boy, that's scary. Has a base runner.
Little topper by Anderson. Arcia gets rid of it in a hurry, and Santana is retired for out number 1, but Lindor does move into scoring position.
Well, that's the only play that Arcia had was first base, and there's nothing he could do, and Santana had a good jump out of the box because he was fooled on that pitch and running down the line. But he got the throw across to get Santana.
Now Franmil Reyes. He's yet to get loose in this series. Milwaukee has either pitched him really well or he's just not been able to connect yet.
Well, you know, when you come off a series like he had in Kansas City and you're coming back, you can't live up to the billing. Man.
Well, they
10
have,
for 13.
and they have walked him 3 times, so I think they've just been very
I'm going to pitch, yes.
cautious.
Yes, we're going to be very careful.
There's a ball hit pretty well center field, but not deep enough. Taylor is there to make the catch. Lindor will tag, and he will get to third, but there are 2 down. Just caught that one off the end of the bat. That has been his strength, though, trying to stay in the middle of the field, drive it the other way. So with a runner at third and 2 down, Jordan Luplow to the plate. Luplow's 0 for his last 13, but 4 of his 5 hits this year have come against left-handed pitchers.
He swung at the first pitch in his first at-bat, so he's taken a strike there. Besides, it was a breaking ball.
Luplow doesn't like that call. He's in the hole 0-2. Nice job by Nottingham. Boy, throw that chest protector up in front of it and just would not allow that one to get by.
Well, you know, you're calling for that breaking ball, and as a catcher, when you do, you anticipate that that ball is going to be in the dirt. So you expect to go down and block it like he did.
Did it again. 2-2. Sometimes you got to be a glutton for punishment to be a catcher.
They are. I'll tell you what, those guys, they do it. And you've talked about it. Doesn't matter. Guys on, guys not on. They're
programmed,
sacrifice their bodies. They do. Yes, they are.
Oh, what a job by Luplow. Inside out, just punches it down the right field line. And the 2-out RBI single delivers Francisco Lindor from third. 2-0 Cleveland.
I watched Anderson almost slammed his glove on the ground. He couldn't believe that Luplow, you know, stayed on that pitch and hit it the other way. Check out, see, it's a breaking ball. Luplow inside. He didn't know where it went. Watch him look. Oh, and then he picks it up. He thought he fouled it off. But I mean, he sliced it right inside the first baseman in the bag.
Routine hop, inning over. Indians tack one on. After 4, Cleveland 2, Milwaukee nothing. Your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to see what it means to give it everything. By the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And by Akron Children's Hospital, taking extra precautions at every location to keep your family safe. Beautiful day at the ballpark, and the Indians on top 2-0. Brett Anderson taking a look at his pitching digit on that left hand. Don't know if he's a guy that's ever had blister problems in the past, but usually when you're looking at that, it's either a fingernail issue or potentially a blister. 2 runs for the Indians. Bieber has shut out Milwaukee on 1 hit. He's walked 1, struck out 7 through 4. But all 7 strikeouts coming first time through the order. Halfway through second time around, no strikeouts. Luis Arias leading off here in the 5th.
And he had about a 25-pitch inning last inning, so they made him work to get through it.
Out of play, right side.
They have had the 8 hitters to this point see at least 5 or more pitches off Shane Bieber. They haven't been aggressive, or at least haven't been able to put the first 2 pitches in play. Sometimes he has a nice 8 or 9 pitch inning because teams don't want him to get 2 strikes on him.
Now the 1-2. Hard hit ball, and just like Luplow, inside the bag at first. And Arias has the second hit of the game for Milwaukee, his first of the day.
That's a nice swing there. He got on top and just drove it right down the first baseline. Look at, he's open, he lifts up, and boy, he got on top. That was a ball. That wasn't even in the strike zone. Nice job of hitting. He earned that one. Second hit for the Brew Crew.
Jace Peterson.
Yeah, he hasn't been out of the stretch much today. For the first time, it started last inning with 2 outs after a Yelich walk. Been out of the full windup almost all day long.
Threw a changeup in. He was way out in front of a 1-1. In there for a strike with a good fastball. Oh, man, nice job by Roberto Perez. I don't know how that didn't clip Peterson on one of his feet.
Well, the umpire was looking awfully close. Perez did a beautiful job to just smother this ball, and he was looking down there to see if it caught him at any point. It did not.
Well, now you got a 3-2 count. Urias runs well. I don't think they'll start him here, though. But they do. And he lines it into right field. And Naquin will cut it off. All the way to third goes Urias. So Craig Counsell rolls the dice, and Peterson comes through.
You know, when you're facing a guy like Bieber and he's locked in, you get opportunities. You have to try something, you know, and hope that he puts the ball in play. He didn't want to swing and double play. But he gets a base hit. They go to first and third, and now they're in business. He rolled the dice, and it paid off.
My thinking would have been, I mean, he strikes out so many guys.
Well, that's a good way to think it, but he's saying, I can't sit back and wait here. We're not going to string a lot of hits off this guy. I've got to take a chance that he's not going to strike out, and it paid off. And I'm sure that's because he was a player, and you know, at 3-2, he figures his boy's going to put it in play there. 3
out of the last 4 hitters have hits, though, for Milwaukee.
One other thing I'd add, Matt, I think there's some curiosity to how Roberto Perez's shoulder feels and how his throws will be after sitting out for almost, what, 4 days now, 5 days, and not throwing.
Tyron Taylor out looking his first time up, making his first career start. That at bat lasted 3 pitches. Threw it by him, and it's 0-2. Out of play, got a piece of it. Two 0. Cleveland leads it, but Milwaukee threatening here in the 5th. They had first and third, but with 2 outs in the 4th. Now first and third, nobody out in the 5th. And that's out of play.
Yeah, they've certainly made an adjustment that second time through the lineup. I mean, you can see they're fouling off some pitches and they're getting after it a little better. That's what happens the first time through. They didn't know. They found out what this guy has and how sharp he is, but they've battled. They've had 10 two-strike foul balls.
Try to get him to chase. That's the curveball that really It starts in the zone but finishes out.
That's the one he didn't want to throw for a strike. He wanted to keep that guy at third base. He wanted to swing and miss right there, but he didn't offer at it. So it was a very good take on his part.
Ripped it foul and almost picked off the runner at third base, Urias. I don't know how close it really was, but he was getting out of the way.
Not that close, but you know when you're that close, you see anything coming in your direction, you better get down.
Swung out and missed. He struck him out with a good breaking ball off the outside corner. That's his 8th strikeout of the game, and it comes in a key spot.
He went with the slider now, not the curveball. And there it was. That was the good pitch where he was able to get him to chase. He was right on his other stuff. There you go. Second pitcher in club history to go along with Mr. Bob Feller. Back in '46, at least 8 strikeouts in each of his first 9 starts.
Jacob Nottingham. He went down swinging his first time up.
People would gladly take a ground ball double play as opposed to a strikeout or a 5 or 6 pitch at bat. He's already at 87 pitches. You know, normally he doesn't have to work this hard. He's only in the 5th inning.
Threw it by him. It's 0-2. May be some folks down in Ravenna, Ohio, wondering, is Jacob Nottingham related in any way to Don Nottingham, who started at Ravenna, then went on to Kent State, played for the Baltimore Colts,
bowling ball,
the Miami Dolphins, won a Super Bowl ring with the Dolphins. The short answer is we don't know, but we don't think so.
Andre, what do you got?
0-2. Just missed outside.
I'm going to go with all Nottinghams are related one way or the other. That's my Sunday piece. We don't see a lot of Nottinghams.
I was going to say, there's a pretty good chance somewhere along the family tree they...
Well, let's go to the 6 degrees of Nottingham. How about that?
Don Nottingham did play in a playoff game against the Browns at Old Cleveland Stadium back in the early 70s. Scored the only 2 touchdowns of that game for Baltimore. Oh, back up the middle, over the bag, and Cesar can't find the handle, and the Brewers get on the board. Nottingham picks up the RBI as Urias scores, and it's 2-1.
Well, he got his ground ball, but it was placed right over the bag, and not much Hernandez can do. He was trying to just get one. It went between the legs of, it took a hop on him. That's why he didn't catch it cleanly. You see that ball jump up?
Yeah.
It came up on him, and he couldn't field it cleanly, and he was just going to try and get the backhanded flip to get the second out, but he could not. I'm sure that'll go as a base hit.
He comes up with that cleanly, and there's a real good chance they turn an inning-ending double play there with the catcher running. But to no avail, and now Milwaukee has life as they get a run off Bieber. It's the first run he's allowed in the 5th inning all season long. And here's a word from Wayside Furniture.
Hustle into Wayside Furniture for great Labor Day savings and special financing. Wayside in Akron.
So Ben Gamble to the plate. He's 0 for 2.
tell you what, the bottom part of the lineup did a heck of a job that second time through to get to Bieber. And they've got some pressure on him now because we're rolling over for the third time through.
He's already over 90 pitches. Bullpen about to get busy for Cleveland.
Gamble has taken him deep into the counts the first 2 times up, even though he struck him out to lead off the game. He grounded out to second the second time, but he's seen a lot of pitches. There's Maton getting loose.
Line drive, base hit left field. They catch a break because Peterson was going back towards second, but they're now loaded with only 1 out.
That's 4 hits in the inning for Milwaukee. All singles. But there's a nice swing here. Staying on the baseball, taking the other way, a little 2-seamer. And finds the hole. You look at Peterson, who was breaking back. It's a good thing because you don't want to, hit a line drive, get a double play. So you can see all the pitches he has thrown in the last 2 innings. And he still only has 1 out here in the 5th.
What a different second time through the order, though, for Shane Bieber after he mowed him down in the first 3 innings.
Yeah, 5 for 8.
Keston Hiura.
4 for 8.
Takes a strike. He is 0 for 2. But dangerous in that he has been in a pretty good role offensively. Tying run, Chase Peterson at third, Jacob Nottingham go ahead run at second. Up the ladder, 1-2.
Elevated heater. And he has had some issues hitting the fastball. See if they stay with it. They're going to slow it down.
Bieber's in a dogfight now. Here's the 2-2 to Hiura. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, number 9 for Bieber. And it keeps him loaded with 2 down.
Boy, he battled his way back to get the second out of this inning. A beautiful curveball, a little off the plate. He gets the swing on his 100th pitch. 30 in the inning, and 65% of those pitches have been strikes. And one last out to get, and a big one here to keep it a 2-1 game.
Christian Yelich walked his last time up. And a fastball strike. Craig Counsell believes, for whatever it's worth, that certain players like Christian Yelich on his ball club have definitely been impacted by the lack of atmosphere. He said there are certain guys that thrive on the energy, the enthusiasm that a crowd brings. They enjoy being on that stage and having to perform. But as Sandy Alomar pointed out, didn't seem to affect Mike Trout any.
Well, he's not human.
The 0-2, swing and a miss. He struck him out, and Shane Bieber gets out of a mess by striking out 2 Brewers with the bases loaded. He's punched out 10 today. 2-1 Cleveland. Shane Bieber, his day over after 5 innings of work. Bullpen will get busy. 13th time you struck out 10 in a game, 6th time this year. And he really had to work hard last 2 innings.
58 pitches in his last 2 innings.
Is that how many?
Yes, sir.
Did you count every single one of them?
Yeah, my clicker, I have to reset it now.
Brett Anderson facing Tyler Naquin, who grounded out his only time up.
I would check that math, Matt, after knowing how Arch does math.
I would check it, but I know it wasn't his math. He didn't do his own homework, Andre.
Thank you. All right. I just wanted the truth. I knew it something like that.
The 2-0 as a hard hit ground ball backhanded by Peterson. He's able to knock it down and takes it to the bag for out number 1. Recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Carlos Santana gave the Indians a lead in the first with a 2-out RBI double. His first RBI in 7 games. The Indians made it 2-0 on a 2-out RBI hit by Jordan Luplow in the 4th.
Yeah, a couple of 2-out RBIs, and that's usually bodes well for the Indians. And that's how Milwaukee got on the board. Ground ball base hit, stayed on the infield. And then Bieber able to strike out the next 2 guys to get out of that inning, keep it a 2-1 game.
Oscar Mercado grounded out his only time up in the 3rd. Two and 0 the count for Oscar.
Slowed it down on him. Made a pretty good pitch to get it in the strike zone.
Slow chopper up the 3rd baseline. Urias has to hurry, and he just did get him by a whisker for out number 2. Boy, this kid has played a really solid 3rd base in the series.
He's had a couple of plays like that today. This one a little closer than the first one. It's you got to come in, you got to do everything cleanly, quickly, and accurately. And he gets the out just as Mercado was coming down on the bag. Nice play. You know, that's where when you're a defender and you have a play like that, you just do it as quickly as you can without trying to rush. And if he beats it out, there's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, Urias and Ramirez dueling for top defensive play of the game honors here in this one.
Yeah, they've both 3rd basemen put on a show.
Cesar swings through a changeup, and it's 1-2. The uniform has changed. The years have gone by, but Brett Anderson is still the same Brett Anderson when he faces the Cleveland Indians. Stingy.
Yes, indeed.
He wanted that pitch, didn't get it. It was close, full count. Liner caught, inning over. Indians go 1-2-3. 5 in the books. Cleveland 2, Milwaukee 1.
Second 50-50 raffle. It's presented by Sportstime Ohio, and it'll end on Friday, and all the proceeds benefit Cleveland Indians charities. New mission is to prepare youth for success, so get your tickets now at tribe5050.com. Jackpot is currently we got up over a hundo. It's $101,266 right now. So we'll have 5 days to go, and it'll be over.
Phil Maton is the new pitcher. Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen made here in the 6th. Bieber went 5 innings. He allowed a run on 4 hits, walked 1, struck out 10. And after 103 pitches, he gives way to Phil Maton. Misses badly. First pitch, ball 1. Maton worked a third of an inning 2 nights ago, gave up 3 runs on 2 hits, plus walked a batter. And it's 2-0. 2 breaking balls. Nowhere close. Three and 0. Vogelback yielding, and it's 3-1.
I don't think he will be yielding here if he sees another heater.
Surprised he was 3-0. And he walked it.
The off-speed pitches, that's right. He hasn't thrown one yet. So the leadoff walk.
He walked the leadoff man Friday night, and he came around to score.
An outstanding play at third base by Ramirez. That was back in the first inning. Second hitter of the game, and then Jordan Luplow fooled on a pitch. That was the second play, or the first play in the second inning.
The next ball put in play after that was in the 4th inning.
Yeah, right.
Well, Maton's all over the place. He's missed on 5 out of 6. Sandy Alomar was really feeling strong about Maton, and that's why he's starting to put him into more important roles in the game. But boy, this his last appearance, and now so far here today,
Matt,
doesn't look like the same guy.
No, Matt, what they like about him is that he can throw that fastball in and throw that cutter to lefties, but he only threw one of them to Vogelback. So
it was only a 3-0 fastball.
Right, and the reason why they like Maton is because his fastball's played well against lefties and righties, and that cutter against lefties.
Well, you have to throw strikes coming out of the bullpen.
Maton delivers, and that one is generously called a strike. Orlando Arcia struck out in the 2nd, bounced into an inning-ending fielder's choice in the 4th. Dominic Leone getting ready in a hurry in the Cleveland bullpen. Weekly hit to third. Ramirez bobbles it, goes to second. There's one. And because of that, they cannot turn the double play. So Ramirez had it. It was tailor-made. But that bobble cost him.
Let's hope it doesn't come back to bite him, because sometimes the unturned double play can. And that was, you're right, he just never fielded it cleanly. So that never really gave Hernandez a chance to turn it. But they do get the one out.
Shane Bieber and Carlos Carraskin talking shop. Luis Arias singled and scored Milwaukee's only run last inning. Nothing and 2 the count on Arias. Oh man, what a pitch. That was nicely done. A curveball really pulled the string. 2 down. Well, Maton trying to right the ship is now back to even. 6 balls, 6 strikes after 12 tosses.
I think that's the first 2 pitches he threw in the inning, but he finally has a feel for that breaking ball, curveball.
Jace Peterson has struck out and singled. He's got a good fastball, and we've seen it. He's throwing it by him here. Anywhere from 92 to 94 miles an hour. Roberto says, let's stay right with the Express. Just outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oh, he did well just to get a piece of that. That's that slow hook.
Yeah, he barely got a piece of it, but he did to stay alive.
Hard hit ball, that's up the middle and through. Arcia will go to third. And the tying run 90 feet away for Milwaukee. Well, they had him down on the count, but give the hitter credit. Peterson.
Well, there's one that got a little too much of the plate. They were playing him to pull a little bit more, and he gets a base hit into right center field. So with 2 outs, they keep the inning going.
Tyron Taylor is 0 for 2, has struck out both times. That was against Shane Bieber. Tied him up. That fastball, really good location, right in on him. And up, just tied him up.
Yeah, above the hitting zone. He swung at a pitch out of the zone and helped him out.
In the air, center field, Mercado makes the catch. No runs, a hit, 2 left. Middle of the 6th, 2-1 Cleveland. He's at Elk and Elk. And Anthony Santander done for the year with an oblique injury. How bad of an oblique injury is this?
Well, you're only at 20 games left. Those things can last for a while, though, if it's torn off the bone.
That's tough because he's had a great year. But how about Abreu, who's been on fire since the last time the Indians saw the White Sox?
What happened to him?
Well, he's got 25 extra base hits.
Oh, yeah.
He's carried that White Sox offense. They get them hot. They're going against your guy, the Dark Knight in Kansas City, and they only got 1 run on him so far, Matt, in 4 innings.
Must be cloudy.
What the heck happened?
I thought we saw him walk off the mound for the last time 5 days ago. I'm surprised he's out there. But he's hanging in there decently against the White Sox.
He's glad he's pitching today instead of tomorrow.
Yeah, back here.
Jose Ramirez walked and scored in the first, singled, and was thrown out trying to steal for the first time this year in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, the Indians haven't been able to generate anything, just 4 hits off Anderson. But they made the most of it. 2 2-out base hits have got him on the board and with the lead. Uh-oh, he's into that mode again, not lifting. Protect mode, 2 strikes.
Well, that's interesting you bring that up, because Sandy Alomar said that one of the things they've been trying to talk to the hitters about is taking a 2-hit mentality to the plate with you. And he said, you know, it's not like you're going up there and thinking, okay, 2 strikes. You're not, you know, protecting and swinging at everything, but it's that mentality that he said is hopefully getting guys to be a tad more aggressive and don't think about, you know, letting a good pitch go by early in the count.
If you can handle it, get after it. You know, especially the fastball. You know, it's when you're starting to swing at off-speed pitches when you have the count in your favor that you're just helping out the pitcher. There you go.
Ball, deep left field. Yelich back. He's on the track at the wall. He can't make the play. Around second, on his way to third is Ramirez, and into second with a double is Lindor. Ramirez doesn't score because it was close, and it wasn't a certainty that Yelich wasn't going to leap up and catch that ball. But they are in business now.
Well, and Frankie got after the first pitch, and it's a high fastball. And there it is. He gets enough of it, and Yelich, a tall guy, goes back there. It goes high off the auxiliary scoreboard out there. And so that's all Jose could do is go to third base. He got to second, made sure he wasn't going to catch it. Anderson upset that ball hit the wall.
Going along with that 2-strike mentality, Sandy said, Arch, he said, you think about it, 1-0 pitch is inside. He said it's kind of like the mentality you have when you're playing winter ball or you're playing postseason ball. Teams that make contact usually have the most success. And in this shortened season, he goes, that's kind of the mentality they're trying to express to these guys. It's not like the long haul season. Because this is a condensed season, the mentality should be more like, hey, make the most of every at bat. Try to grind them out and put the ball in play.
In my opinion, are trying to get to their numbers in a short season. Do more than they're capable of doing instead of just making contact and put the ball in play.
Santana swings at a 3-0 pitch and lines it into left field past the diving Arcia. And the Indians tack on a run as Ramirez scores. Santana has driven in 2 on the afternoon.
And that's going to do it for Anderson. They finally get through. After the leadoff walk in this inning, you get back-to-back hits, and that's going to chase him from the game. Infield in with nobody out, trying to cut that runoff at home plate. He gets it through the infield, makes it a 3-1 ball game, and they have runners at first and third. And there goes Anderson, the first time they've been able to get him in this ballpark.
Boy, they have waited for Carlos Santana to pick up the pace offensively, and he has come through big time twice here today. The Indians are on top 3-1. We've got a timeout for a pitching change. A run batted in the last 7 games, and he was 2 for his last 26 coming in today. But in the first inning with 2 outs, the RBI double gave them a 1-0 lead. And then here in the 6th, he extends their lead to 3-1 with an RBI single with the infield drawn in on a 3-0 pitch.
I love it. I love it. He needs the swings. And I mean, that's a good sight for the Indians when this guy can drive in a couple of runs for you, set the table, take a pressure off of a few other guys around you.
Eric Yardley, right-hander, coming in to face Franmil Reyes. With Indians at the corners, nobody out, and the Brewers will be forced to keep the infield in.
We don't want to stay in with this guy at the plate.
It can't be real comfortable.
Hey, Skip, can I move back a little bit? This is a big man.
It does appeal. Urias and Arcia are back a couple of steps. They're not at the cut of the grass. And the side armor slings it in there for strike 1.
Well, the one thing you do, and they got to try and cut off all the runs they can with nobody out, is that the outfield stays the same depth, you know, and anything you can bloop one in with that infield in. It happened to the Indians that way in Kansas City in one game.
Franmil trying to shoot it the other way, fouls it back. It's 0-2. See if Yardley going to try to bury one inside here. He does, and wow, Franmil got to it but fouled it back. Nice job by Nottingham once again. Well, that's pretty good numbers right there. 4 out of 6. He's been able to get him home from third. Way outside, and a nice grab by Nottingham. Well, if Don Nottingham was the human bowling ball, Jacob Nottingham might be the human backstop, because he's been really good at blocking them and throwing his body all over the place.
This is a little frisbee that got away. He tracked it down, though, in the left-handed batter's box.
Slowly chopped to short. They'll go to second for 1. On to first. They get the double play. The Indians get another run, and it's 4-1. But that wipes the bases clean, and there are 2 down.
That's because Lindor was going on contact. So with that ball not hit all that sharply, the only thing they had, even though they were in, was to turn the double play. They weren't going to get him at home plate. So they clean the bases. The Indians do get their 4th run.
And that's a heads-up play by Arcia that can only be gained by experience, knowing that the way that ball was hit, hey, I've only got to go to second base.
Watch Frankie. He got a good jump. He didn't hit it hard. Okay, I got to go for 2. He didn't have a chance at the plate. If it was hit harder, he would have looked him back, or he would have came home. But they turn the double play, they clean the bases, and Indians get their 2nd run in the inning.
Jordan Luplow with 2 down. So you can close the book on Anderson. The Indians get him for 4 runs today. He'd given up 4 runs in his career against the Tribe.
Different season.
Wow.
Different day, different game.
Well, Jordan Luplow draws a walk to keep the inning alive for Roberto Perez, and we'll go down to Andre.
Well, Jordan Luplow picked up a ringing base hit the last time up in the 4th inning, as you see it right here. In between innings in the 4th, he asked me very kindly to let everybody know that was a line drive with a big RBI in the book. He says he doesn't have enough hits this year for us to make fun of that one. And yes, he had no idea where the ball went. He said he was searching at the first. He said, how the heck did the ball go that way? Had no idea, Arch.
Yeah, you could tell. I could tell by his eyes. He was looking for it, thought it was a foul ball.
But admitted, it's been a tough year. He'll take it how he can get it right now.
Absolutely.
Captain Hook, pitching coach, going to go out for a visit. Yardley came in, got the big double play ball, but then walks Luplow and quickly falls behind Roberto Perez. And we'll get a quick word from Union Home Mortgage.
Union Home Mortgage. Promises kept every step of the way to home plate.
Now he's back on track. It's 1-1. Kind of dovetailing off what Andre was saying with regards to Luplow, the Indians didn't have a 2-out hit in the series, and two-out RBI hits here today. And there's another 2-out knock. That's going to send Luplow all the way to third, and the inning stays alive as Roberto Perez has his first hit of the game. And that is the third hit in the inning now for Cleveland.
Well, there he's going to throw that fastball. And coming into Roberto. Hits a line drive into center field. So Luplow to third base. And Naquin will be the 7th man to the plate in this inning.
Well, he'll probably try to sink it away from Naquin, but if he misses middle in, I like this matchup. And Naquin 8 times in his last 12 games has an extra base hit. For the year, a .438 hitter with runners in scoring position. Left field slicing out of play. One ball, 2 strikes. Right over the bag, just foul.
This guy's amazing how he can pick balls up off the ground.
I was a little surprised when I saw him put the finger one down and in.
What's this?
That's,
I mean, that's a wedge right there. That ball never, ever even got to the knees. But he's still able to get the barrel head of the bat down there and hit it sharply.
some guys like it thigh high. He likes it shin high. Good pitch. And Naquin fooled by the breaking ball to end the inning. But the Indians get 2, lead it 4-1. Another 10 strikeout performance here this afternoon. He only went 5 innings.
Yeah, his shortest start of the year. He's gone 6 in his first 8 starts. This one he'll go 5. But he was over 100 pitches, 10 strikeouts, and battled his way through it. And the Brewers really made a good adjustment the second time through in this ball game. They fouled off a lot of his 2-strike pitches, but Shane hung in there and did an outstanding job today.
Dominic Leone on the pitch here in the 7th. Bullpen still has some big outs to record. Jacob Nottingham with an RBI single his last time up. Originally it was scored a fielder's choice, but they've changed it to a base hit and a run batted in for Nottingham. He has 2 hits in the series. Wasn't Nottingham the town in Robin Hood, the sheriff of Nottingham? Is that right?
You got it. Burf was all over that too.
2-1 pitch. Down low. Would you believe that the first autograph I ever had was a Don Nottingham autograph?
No, I would not. That's why you knew he had 2 touchdowns back in the 70s.
Right.
Would you see him at a supermarket?
He was giving out canned hams. There's a lot of play to the right. No, my mom worked with, I believe it was his uncle. And, you know, as a kid, I was just a huge sports fan. She got me an autograph picture of Don Nottingham.
Do you still have it?
I do. It's him in a Dolphins uniform, too. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. So Dominic Leone starts the 7th with a punch out.
Going with the fastball away here. And gets the swing and miss. It's the 12th strikeout by Indians pitchers today. Of course, Bieber had 10. Naton 1, and now Leone gets his first.
Ben Gamble, 1 out of 3. He singled in the 5th inning.
Yeah, to end up loading the bases. They couldn't score him because it was hit to left field. And then Bieber in that 5th inning, when he allowed the run, he was able to strike out the next 2 hitters to get out of the inning and end his day.
Dark clouds have moved into downtown.
Yeah, this went from a sunny day when we first started this ball game to overcast. I'm sure they're going to turn the lights on here soon if they haven't already.
3-1 offering, and outside, ball 4. He walks him.
Well, season and group ticket plans are available for the 21 season and feature discounted pricing and exclusive benefits. Place your deposit now by calling the Tribe ticket office at 216-420-HITS Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, or you can visit Indians.com.
Yeah, it's strange you mentioned that about the lights, because it was either on the last homestand,
bright sunny day,
or on the last road trip. We noticed it was sunny. It was home.
It was last homestand here.
And the lights were on. We thought, why would they have the lights on a sunny day?
It was a bright, crystal clear blue day.
No lights yet, but it is dark, and from what we understand, there's some rain out to the west, but not expecting any rain here in downtown. And we'll get a word from Spectrum Mobile.
Spectrum Mobile. Unlimited talk, text, and data. Just $45.
Can't rain when? What were you saying?
On a Labor Day weekend.
Oh,
you know.
It's true.
Game on.
Not allowed.
No, you got to go back home, and we get a day game finally to maybe do some barbecuing or something.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Carl has his say. Whitgren up in the pen. But, you know, there's something you don't want to do. After he gets the first strikeout, you roll it over the top line. You don't want to give them any free passes. If they're going to hit their way on, that's one thing. But don't give them free base runners.
And Keston Hiura fouls one over toward the Tribe dugout. Hiura 0 for 3. But a dangerous hitter. Hiura's dad, Kirk, took him to a hitting coach when he was only 9 years old. The guy's name was Sean Thompson, and he worked with Hiura from the time he was 9 years old until he went to his first big league spring training.
No kidding.
And on the night before he went to his first big league spring training, which was only 2 years ago, of all the people that Keston Hiura could have hung out with or talked to, he called up Sean Thompson, and they got together and they went to the batting cage. And
well, it's like, you know, a lot of players, your dad knows your swing much more than anybody else. He watched you growing up and doing it.
Chopped to third, but foul. But it does tell you a lot about somebody that, you know, when you're on the verge of something special and all your dreams and all that hard work coming true, that you reach out to somebody that was there all along the way for you.
Yeah, someone you believe in.
And Thompson himself had worked with a lot of California kids who became professional baseball players.
Well, so a lot of kids out there, yeah, get drafted. There's no doubt.
2-2. Oh, that was a good pitch, but just a little off, and that's a good take by Hiura. Full count.
Well, you can't hit it. You don't swing at it. And that was just a little low. But you got to go at him here.
Foul back. He went to the same pitch, but that time he swung at it. And what do you say? A hitter can be patient 2-2, but can they still be as patient 3-2?
Yeah, well, you see. A lot of times this year, so far to this point, a lot of hitters have gone after it. They don't want to take the walk.
Gamble not running, and again it's fouled back.
Well, he's not going to put it in the umpire's hands if that ball is a couple inches off. That one was high enough, it was just a little off the plate. The one he took went to 3-2, was a little low. He couldn't hit it.
Popped it in the air. Center field, Mercado. 2 down. So good battle and a good job by Leon to hang in there and get the out.
Number 22,
And up comes Christian Yelich, who has struck out twice. He's also drawn a walk. You know, I was thinking about this as Yelich came to the plate. One of the things Sandy Alomar has said that he's been asked a lot about, hey, what's been the biggest difference? How tough is it, you know, being in the manager's seat, having to make all these decisions? He said, honestly, one of the things is the 3-batter rule with the relief pitchers. Because he said sometimes you get in a situation where there might be a guy sandwiched in there that's not a good matchup for you.
Right.
But you can't do anything about it. Now here's a situation where on paper you might think he's faced the 3 batters. You've got Yelich coming up, left-handed hitter, right-handed pitcher Leon. Maybe not a good matchup. But as you pointed out, this year it's been the reverse. Yelich has been better against lefties than he has against righties.
And you know what? Even if he hits a home run, you're still up a run. He wants to save Whitgren for that 8th inning. He doesn't want to bring him in, let him sit down and go out again. He did it last night. He hit a home run. So he wants this guy to get through the inning, and I could see why. But he's on first base because he walked the leadoff man, or 1-out walk, I should say.
Oh, what a pitch. What a pitch by Dominic Leon. Good breaking ball. Gets Yelich. He strikes out a pair. Stretch time in Cleveland. Indians 4, Brewers 1. Indians baseball is brought to you by Wendy's. A breakfast so good you'll want to tell someone about it. And by Chevy. Get behind the wheel of a new Chevrolet and find new roads again. 4-1, Indians on top as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning.
Okay. Cal Ripken on this date, breaking the record. Remember they had that out at Camden Yards. That was unbelievable. September 6th of 1995. That is still a record. It's hard to believe that you could. 2,632 games.
Which one's more untouchable, that record or the 61-game hit streak?
Boy, no one will ever play
no.
in that many games, ever. And I don't think no one will ever get in a 61-game hit streak.
I tend to agree with you.
I think both of them are intact forever.
That's awesome. I don't see a team letting a player play more
56-game hitting streak.
50, yes.
DiMaggio?
Yeah.
I think you're both right. I mean, I'm not sure anybody ever envisioned someone breaking Lou Gehrig's record. Right, and yet Cal Ripken came along and did it. The one thing that I will say that this is not an individual or thought of my own. I've heard this before. It doesn't take necessarily a specialized skill set to do what Cal Ripken did. Yes, you have to be talented, you have to be durable, you have to be good enough to be able to get your name written into the lineup. But to hit in 56 consecutive games takes a special skill set to be able to do that. I think that's probably the one that will never be broken.
Playing every day is it's unbelievable. To just play 161. You have no idea the physical toll it takes on your body and mentally.
Or why anybody would want to do it.
Good point.
Well, now they won't let them do it because you need a day off just to give your mind a break.
Think about it. There's no financial incentive or reward.
No. Well, there was. You wanted to play every day. And, I mean, if you're an everyday ball player, there's pride in not missing a start. I mean, we have guys that talk about it.
We've got the closest thing to it.
Exactly.
Probably in the infield that we have. And we sit around and say sometimes they could use a day off.
Right. And they can. That's why you have extra men on the team. Yeah, you don't get paid for not missing a game. You know, and nowadays, if you see a 30-game hit streak, that's a lot. That's a lot, and I think it's a little different now because you're seeing so many more pitchers throughout the course of a game to try and get hits off of. They're not facing the same guy 3 or 4 times in a ball game.
Sandy Alomar got to 30 games.
Right.
At the All-Star break in '97.
That was his year, 1997. Everything happened good for Sandy. Good swing, had one and fouled it back.
I think most fans who watched Grady Sizemore in an Indians uniform really.
He was the closest thing that we saw.
Yeah, they really admired the way he played. He had that sort of gritty, everyday mentality with some superstar qualities, but he was more of a grinder, more of a, hey, he's a Cleveland guy. He's kind of blue-collar tough. But you said on more than one occasion, maybe not on the air, but I remember you saying it at the time. Well, I don't know. He plays awfully hard. He runs into a lot of walls.
Yeah.
It's tough to go out there every day when you play as hard as he does.
Yep.
And eventually it did catch up to him.
Oh, it beat him up. It sure did.
Swing and a miss by Mercado. 1 down here in the 7th.
Elevated fastball, and that's kryptonite to a lot of hitters. Especially when you have 2 strikes.
I think the thing that I'll always remember, I don't know about for you, mostly about the Cal Ripken streak and when he broke Gehrig's record, was that, I think wherever you were, you paused, you saw it, it was on TV, you watched, you paid tribute, you kind of tipped your cap. Well, that's pretty amazing. It's an incredible accomplishment for him to do that. The very next game the Baltimore Orioles played, Cal Ripken was right here in Cleveland, and the Indians clinched their first trip to the postseason since 1954.
I remember that.
And it was almost like here in Cleveland, it was sort of like okay, great, Cal. All right, let's go Tribe. Let's go. Let's get to the playoffs.
Since hadn't made the playoffs since '54. Well, you're not going to get guys that play in the big leagues as long as Ripken's streak is nowadays.
Think about that.
It's at least, 13 years. I don't want to do my Niagara Falls math on this. Hey, Andre, do you have time to add it up? How many straight years he played? 162.
I think Tommy's got you.
Let me see, 82 to 95. So it's at least, it's 14 years. Tommy's got it.
Think about that, 14 years.
Right.
That's amazing.
Every day not missing a game.
Your career was how long?
13 years.
Think about that.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, here's a couple days later, as you mentioned.
Baltimore here in Cleveland.
September 8th of 1995. Who'll ever forget it? I was doing that game with radio with Herb Score.
This ballpark was only 2 years old. Deep left, back, and making the catch is Yelich, 2 down. You were filling in on radio. Oh, that's right.
Well, they had
did
the
TV
Baseball
that night.
Network.
That's
Remember
right.
That was out there, and he was doing the game on television, and I ended up going in with Herbie, and it was a treat for me because Herb had been there for all those years, and it was the first time since he was a player that they made the playoffs.
And people don't realize Herb scored in 1954, which was the last time the Indians had been in the postseason. He struck out, I don't know, like 300 batters at AAA that year. Didn't get a call up.
Right. No, you're not getting called up. They call up everybody and their brother now.
And I'm not ssure, but I think Rocky Colavito was his teammate on that Indianapolis Indians team and had a great year. I don't think he got called up either.
Incredible. Yeah, those two were tight. They were roomies.
Two down, Jose Ramirez. He has walked twice, singled, and scored 2 runs.
Doesn't have that high leg kick working anymore now, Andre.
I'm on it. We're watching.
Rip foul. Whew.
The amazing thing is those hands. Just watching him open up with those hands and that swing.
Two down, base is empty. And the 1-2. So Ramirez, just a little bit outside.
Okay, it was, but the catcher was heading towards the dugout. He thought he got it. Let's take a look at it. And you're right, it was. He brought it in. Good call. He was trying to deke the umpire. That one is good.
And the Indians go 1-2-3. We move to the 8th, 4-1 Cleveland. Is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Well, it's a 4-1 Cleveland lead as we roll on to the 8th inning. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for Milwaukee. And Nick Whitgren on the pitch now for Cleveland. Dominic Leone worked a scoreless 7th, a walk, and 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, that's how Sandy was hoping that would turn out, where Leone could get out of that inning and you start Whitgren here. Because when he came on yesterday in that 7th inning, this was the first guy he faced and struck him out.
Vogelbach today 1 for 2. He had a single in the 4th inning. So all the guys in the truck took their shoes and socks off, and they all got their they added it all up together. Ripken's streak was 16 plus years, 16.2.
It's incredible to play every single game. You just, that is mind-blowing to me. It really is. You know, you figure you have to have an injury at some point in time or something like that. Get hit by a pitch and bust a hand or a bone or a foul ball off your foot.
Well, it does bring to mind how many times he had to have played through some excruciating pain.
For 15 and a half years, to answer your question. You start the first year, you're out there. And he played shortstop for the bulk of it. You know, one of the most demanding positions on the field. I mean, he was a guy that always positioned himself well. He never had to dive for a lot of balls because they were that organization that had great pitching, and you pitch into the defense. And but still,
Vogel back to center field. Mercado is there. One away. Well, it's not mind-blowing, but as I was walking into the ballpark today, because there's nobody here, it just has a different feel altogether. And I was looking around and I was thinking to myself, man, I cannot believe this is the 27th season of baseball in this facility.
Yes, it is. And it's still beautiful.
Looking at that footage of the 1995 clinch night here at Jacobs Field then, it was just one of those, you're immediately transported back in time. I still remember the first game here. I remember all those shows you and I used to do where we would tape all over different locations throughout this entire ballpark. And we were still learning all the various hallways and, hey, where's this door lead to?
Yeah, we've been lost a few times too. I mean, I still talk to fans through here and they say, you mean the Jake? They still call it that.
Yeah.
You know, they just can't get over that when it first opened. But it's been Progressive Field now for quite some time.
Fouled on the right side by Arcia.
Yeah, some terrific days and nights in this ballpark, and years.
And credit to all of the many men and women who work here day in, day out, year after year. And the financial resources that have been put into the ballpark, it's held up. It has stood the test of time as well as any facility in baseball.
Still spectacular. That's what you feel sorry for most of all now through this pandemic, is the people that have put their hearts and their souls in here, that have other jobs, that come down here and, you know, they're ushers, they're people that help out the Indians and they work part-time here, that they can't get into this building now.
Well, it's all hope and pray that next year will be different.
Gets back to normal. Yes. I'm all for that.
3-2 to Arcia. He had to reach for it in between. Lindor trying to make a great play. He did it. Oh my! Francisco Lindor with a spectacular defensive gem. Both he and Ramirez today have made a couple of outstanding plays.
Yeah, the left side of the infield are on point, and that, I mean, once it gets by Ramirez, you think it's got to go perfectly, but he gets rid of it. A one-hop throw to Santana. We've seen some fine defense today on both sides of the ball. Milwaukee has played some nice defense as well.
I wasn't sure, Rick, at first glance, if Ramirez may have ticked that ball just a little bit off the end of his glove, but I don't think he did.
That was like my eyes the other night. I thought somebody else, the pitcher, deflected it.
Luis Arias, 1 out of 3. That single in the 5th led to the only run of the game for Milwaukee. Shane Bieber went 5, struck out 10. Since then, Phil Maton, Dominic Leone, now Nick Whitgren have been very good in relief. Whitgren trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning.
He did.
Lindor throws him out. Whitgren shuts him down in the 8th. And the Indians defense has been on point here today. Recapping our storylines. Shane Bieber struck out 10. The Brewers have been punching out a lot this year. And Brett Anderson had dominated the Indians in his career, given up 4 earned runs in his career.
Yeah.
They got him for 4 today.
Yeah, that's a surprise in its own right. He was 3-0 coming into this ballpark. Bieber, another very good start. Although it was his shortest start of the year, they made him work the second time through, but the same old Shane Bieber, just 1 run allowed.
For the Indians, it'll be Lindor, Santana, and Reyes in the 8th inning as Milwaukee goes back to the bullpen once again.
Frankie with a couple of knocks today, single and a double his last 2 times, and has scored 2 runs. He has that batting average up to 280 now.
This guy's got a big arm. He can get it up there close to 100 miles an hour.
You know, that's Milwaukee has some very good arms from what we've seen in this 3-game series. Their problem has been scoring runs.
I'll tell you one thing about Drew Rasmussen. He's had Tommy John surgery not once but twice.
Wow.
And he's still throwing it up there close to 100 miles an hour. 98, but off the plate, ball 4. Stay tuned for Indians Live postgame presented by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. It's coming up next here on Sportstime Ohio. Hope you're enjoying your Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend unlike any other before.
Yeah, the Brewers head out of town after today, and Kansas City comes in for a 4-game series, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then that'll do it for the Royals this year.
So Drew Rasmussen had his first Tommy John surgery at the end of spring training, so March 29th, 2016. And then his second surgery was in August of 2017.
Oh my goodness, that quick,
Just about a year and a half later, right? Not even.
Did he even have time to come back and pitch it? Or
that's what you wonder.
Was that on rehab? You're right. Because it's usually what almost a year and a half to recover.
I don't know many personally. I don't know many guys that have had to go through it multiple times, but I do remember talking to Brian Anderson about it. When he came back, he said in addition to the Tommy John, they had cleaned out the elbow, so the bone chips and some of the stuff was
floaters
gone.
Yeah.
And he said I was getting such great extension that he said I was hitting velocities that I'd never hit before. And swing and a miss by Santana. He said it just felt so good, and then he said one day I let it go and it popped again. Because he said I was actually getting, what do they call that, hyperextension. I was getting so much out there that my elbow was going the other direction. It just put too much stress on that new ligament and it snapped again.
Sort of looks like Williams throwing that changeup last night.
That hurts my elbow watching that.
It does. Well, Brad Hand, I see, is up for the Indians. If it stays a 3-run game, I'm sure we'll see him. But if the Indians can put another one on the board, I'm sure. I think it's Adam Plutko that's up out there.
Well, right now, Rasmussen having a tough time finding the plate. He's thrown 9 pitches. Only 3 have been for strikes. Two more hits for Lindor today. Not surprising given that he came in with a .342 average this year against left-handed pitching. 2 of those 3 hits came against the lefty Brett Anderson.
You know, the guy I miss here now that the Brewers are in town, and always a friend of ours, is Bob Uecker.
Yeah.
You know, on a normal year, if they were playing here, he'd be in here. We would have a lot of laughs and reminisce about a lot of stories. I don't know if you're out there listening, Bobby, but hello. He's been in the game forever.
If you're maybe a younger fan and are not completely familiar with the works of Bob Uecker, do yourself a favor and get on YouTube and just find his appearances on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson,
or Miller Lite beer commercials,
or the Miller Lite beer commercials,
or watch Major League. The movie starting.
If you haven't watched Major League, you should not be watching this program here tonight.
Oh my goodness.
You know him though, Rick.
Yes, I do.
How close to what we see in the movie Major League is Bob Uecker?
Same guy.
Same? That's what
the same guy.
Like, that wasn't a move. Like, he didn't have to.
When he was watching us play, he had the bottle of Jack Daniels and he was drinking. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I heard watching you guys would lead you to that.
He was, he's priceless. One of the nicest guys.
Most of those seasons.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He's a joy to be around. He's a nice guy to everybody. And you know who knows him really well? And
who's that?
Who's sitting home watching? It's Tito. He pulled a prank on Tito when we were in Maryville in spring training a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we got a little time.
I don't think we have time right now.
No, there's plenty of time. Go ahead. I don't know if you'll be back tomorrow.
I think the audio.
You'll have a Labor Day like no other tomorrow.
Testing 1, 2. Is the audio working? I'm going to tell you, he is just a treat to be around, and one
genuine.
of the joys of baseball. And I mean, he was one of the greatest ever. There's no doubt.
But I will say, in the small amount of time I got to meet him around you guys, genuine.
Yeah.
A real, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No put-offs.
He's been like that his whole life. Grew up in the Wisconsin area and grew up with Bud Selig. And our old friend that used to work here, Damage, who's about 94 now. They were buddies, and he used to drive him around, and he had a tape that he played one day with Damage and his dog. That's another one we could talk about forever.
You know, Andre, to your question though, the one thing that the first time I introduced myself and had a conversation with Bob Uecker, the thing that impressed me, or maybe surprised me, because my perception of him was what I'd seen on TV over the years, that body of work. He wasn't a comedian. He wasn't a guy that was trying to be funny. We sat and talked baseball, and he knows baseball as well as anybody. But your perception of him is that he's this sort of comedian. But, man, when you want to just talk nuts and bolts baseball, he's as good as anybody in the game.
Speaking of, Jose's back at it today. I could just hear the chatter as you were talking. He's pointing to something. He's pointing to the third baseman.
Oh, yeah.
Look at it. He's back at it. Our camera's here.
Franmil Reyes trying to put this out of reach for Cleveland. 2 on, nobody out. And a 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss.
I'm thinking about Bob Uecker when they were in the playoffs and he was with the Cardinals. One day he was joking around and they took batting practice before a World Series game. And there was a marching band that was out there. He grabbed one of the tubas and was catching fly balls in the tuba during batting practice at Tampa World Series. How about that?
The 1-2 in the dirt.
Well, Arch, when we were in Milwaukee a couple of years ago, you asked him if he still had the same car deal. He goes, yeah, you want one?
Oh, he's driving around in a brand new vet every year.
Yeah, Arch goes, you got a new vet? He goes, yeah, you want one? Like, the way he said it was just tremendous.
When I got traded to Milwaukee, he's the one that got me a car. Here, I'll get my dealer. You go over there and pick yourself up a car.
So those at home, so when Arch goes to places he used to go, that's what he does. Got a car for me, Bob?
I'm America's guest.
Yes, you are.
His Hall of Fame induction speech is another great one when he recalls the time when the scout came to the house, sat down with his dad and said, "Sir, we'd like to sign your son for $1,500. And his dad said, "We don't have that kind of money."
That's great.
"3-2 to Reyes.
Oh,
Hard,
baby.
deep right field. Gamo's back on the track and makes the catch in the corner. And Santana's got to hurry all the way back. He was almost to second base. And there is out number one. Boy,
I thought he had enough of it when it left the bat.
let's see. Was it just off the end a little bit? Yeah, it sure was.
A little bit off the end, but he put a nice swing on it. Then watch Gamble get over there and track it down. I thought down the line it might have a chance.
And Jordan Luplow, an RBI single in the fourth. He walked his last time up.
Yeah, this is the kind of game where Rasmussen comes in, and you can see he has problems throwing strikes. I mean, out of his 21 pitches, 13 have been balls. The breaking ball slowed him down a little bit.
Well, he did pitch a total of 74 innings last year. But that was, you know, coming back from the surgery. That was his first year healthy and pitching 74 innings. So because of this year, he needed a year of minor league time.
Yes, and absolutely.
Let's see, what has he even thrown this year? 7 innings?
Yeah, and you got to build up the arm strength first, and then the command comes later. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what clubs do this offseason with the minor leagues not playing this year, how they're going to utilize their minor league complexes in the wintertime for all those kids that missed time and didn't get a chance to play, if they're going to go out there in the wintertime and maybe bring them out and do something if they can. Look at there's its own story there.
Ramirez and Urias are going at it. Boy, the other thing is you want to give those guys work, but you want them to be ready for the next season too.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I mean, yeah, they missed everything for the minor league kids.
3-2 count for Luplow. And a bouncing ball. There's nobody at first, and it's going to be an infield hit for Luplow, and the bases are loaded.
Now Peterson looked like he was breaking off the bag, and by the time, let's see, there's the second baseman. He was up the middle, so he was way off, and he took one step. And that's sort of like an in-between play there for any player. Luplo's going to get awarded a hit on this. He didn't have time to get back, so he beats it out. So that's a hit. He could use one. There you go, Andre. Tell him that was a line drive, too.
Well, they're loaded up now for Roberto Perez, who had a base hit his last time up. Oh, first pitch curveball, and he had one to hammer and fouled it back. Swings through it, 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 1-2. Got him looking. So threw a breaking ball and froze him. And the bases are still loaded. Now there are 2 down.
Oh, and he's going to go make a move.
That's an interesting decision to bring in a reliever with the bases loaded, and there are 2 down, but he wants the lefty-lefty matchup. We've got a timeout with the Indians up 4-1. Two down. Tyler Naquin will be the batter, and the left-hander Alex Claudio coming on to try and get this last out and keep it a 3-run game for Milwaukee. Claudio pitched a scoreless inning in the series opener, but in that game it was already a 7-1 ball game. This is a little different situation, and we'll see if Tyler Naquin can deliver a big hit. This would really be a backbreaker for Milwaukee if he can come through.
Yeah, the table's set. Tyler's been good with runners in scoring position, and swinging the bat, he could use a hit. Doesn't have one today, 0 for 3.
Fouled right back. He got after that first pitch.
He sure did, and had a good swing.
In off the plate. No real shift here for Naquin. Arcia shading him up the middle. You notice the center fielder Taylor's pretty shallow. Gamble deep and right. Popped it up on the infield. Well, the Indians leave them loaded. The Brewers are still kicking. We go to the ninth, 4-1 Tribe. Has been rock solid today. Jose Ramirez right out of the gate, second hitter of the game with an unbelievable play.
Look at Bieber, loving every minute of it. The very next inning, Luplow. That's the first 2 balls they put in play that first time through the lineup, and 2 tremendous defensive plays. Lindor, he's not going to be outdone. Makes a beautiful play in the hole. You see, that's the nice thing about this ball club. When you're starting pitchers and your pitchers are throwing strikes and they're on point, the defense is always ready, and you'll see a lot of good defensive plays. They're not sitting back on their heels.
Brad Hand will try to close it out for Cleveland. Bottom third of the order, but we might get some pinch hitters here. We've got one to start, Ryan Braun. We'll bat for Jace Peterson. Braun played yesterday. He was 1 for 4. 2 hits in the series with an RBI.
Yeah, Hand came back. This is the turning point of last night's game where Hand fell behind Braun with a runner on base, and he was able to come back and get him and strike him out and got him to swing at a 3-2 pitch to maintain that tie ball game. And they had an opportunity to take a lead.
Smack to left, coming in, and a short hop pick by Luplow. Ryan Braun with a leadoff single.
Broke his bat off the end, and it falls. At least Luplow came in. He was going to try to catch it and ended up short hopping it. Tell by the sound of the bat. Here he comes. You commit, keep coming, but couldn't dive for it. So a leadoff single for Braun and the Brewers.
Now Tyron Taylor 0 for 3 will be the batter. He has struck out twice. Hey, quick second here. Forgotten over the weekend, but a moment for you to brag on your old teammate Ted Simmons, who was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Didn't get a chance to have his day in the sun because of the pandemic. No ceremonies this summer, but he was a heck of a player. Great catcher.
Started with the St. Louis Cardinals, one of the best switch hitting catchers of his time back then. Went to Milwaukee after that, and yeah, he was a terrific player. He's been a scout for a while, but thrilled to death to see him make it. And that was the 4th guy, maybe 5 guys on that Brewer team when I was over there, or in the Hall of Fame. Robin Young, Paul Molitor, Ted Simmons, Raleigh Fingers, and Don Sutton.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
That was
right
a pretty
there.
solid team. And I mean, they went to get Sutton in '82, you know, for right before the trading deadline, so they could have that veteran pitcher through the playoffs.
In the air, shallow right. Naquin coming in. He is there. 1 down. Ted Simmons was here for a while too, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he worked when John Hart was
Yeah.
around here. Absolutely, he's been with a number of different organizations. The Seattle Mariners for a while, Pittsburgh Pirates. He was with Atlanta the last time we talked to him as a scout. But just a tremendous baseball guy with the knowledge of the game. He's one of the first catchers that started pitching backwards, you know, to a lot of people. But him and, you know, you should have seen him and Pete Vukovich smash heads on how the philosophy of pitching. But I mean, he was adamant when he knows a lot about the game of baseball and was a terrific baseball player.
So he was one of the first catchers when the count was 3-0. He'd be calling for breaking balls.
Oh, yeah, you go 2-0 breaking ball, you know, you go the other way. Absolutely. He was one of the catchers when I was in center field. He would tell me what was coming. He'd make a move. He'd have a pick sign or something when I knew a breaking ball was coming so I could adjust before the pitch was even thrown. And again, one of the best sign stealers when you get base runners on and you give signs at second base, fastball or breaking ball. That was legal, though. That's the game within the game.
That's right. 1-2 the count is Nottingham.
Doesn't have any trash cans?
No trash cans, no banging, no buzzers, no beeps. And, you know, no cameras where you had to do it from second base. You had to look and then study it to get the signs.
Ground ball in the hole. Lindor's there.
Maybe.
He goes to second.
Maybe.
There's one. On to first.
Yes.
Double play. Game over. Brad Hand nails it down, and the Indians win the series, taking 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee. Save number 11 for Brad Hand, and the Indians win it by a final count of 4-1. The Indians go to 25-15 on the year. Milwaukee is now 18-21.
They're going to take a peek at it, too. It was bang, bang. You see, this is how close it's going to be. Oh, man. Yeah, that's close.
Just
but
don't
I mean,
think there's enough to overturn it.
I would agree with that. When it's that close, it's going to be hard to overturn. I don't think it's going to get overturned. That was close. It's one of those tweeners.
Well, back to Andre. We were talking the other night about those axioms we all heard as kids. The tie goes to the runner. Well, if he's called out and it's a tie, he's still out.
He's gone.
So officially, that's the ball game. A double play ends it, and the Indians take the series over Milwaukee. And all time, the Indians lead the series now 209-208. And Kansas City will come to town tomorrow for a 4-game series as the Indians continue to jockey among the leaders in the AL Central. The White Sox and the Twins only a half game separated those 3 teams coming into play today. So Shane Bieber didn't go deep, but he punched out 10, and the Indians bullpen really spectacular here
Settled
today.
in nicely, and Bieber made his shortest start of the year, but it was still a very good one. The offense able to get to Brett Anderson, who was undefeated 4-0 in his career, and they end up winning the rubber match of this series. So overall, a good series, and I liked it. It was good.
Fire up the Barbie. We're on our way home. Enjoy the rest of your Labor Day weekend, and we'll be with you tomorrow night when the Indians take on the Kansas City Royals. Al and Jensen will wrap up our coverage right after this.